Years at San Jose State, what was going through your mind the first time that Leon reached out to you when you were in the portal? Did you was BSU in your mind? Did you think about them at all? I mean, what's going through your mind there?
Yeah, well, first of all, they were still in the tournament, so I was kind of surprised they reached out to me. And I knew some Mountain West teams would reach out because a lot of the good point guards were leaving, but I didn't know Boise would be one of them. And I was surprised, but from the very first moment, they made it clear that I was a player they were looking for. And yeah, they did a really good job recruiting, and I thought it was a good opportunity for me.
So after going against this game for so long, what's it like now being part of this game? How do you feel like you fit into this game here?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's just great being around guys that want to work, and that I'm not saying that that wasn't the case at San Jose, but everybody's super committed to doing the right things and accomplishing our goals of winning Mountain West and winning games in the tournament as well. So it's been great. It's been great to. One of the things that surprised me most is just the family environment and the relationship that you build with the coaches and your teammates has been great so far.
What was your impression before they reach out? You play Boise State, a couple times a year, so you obviously had to have impressions of the facilities, impressions of the coaches, the team. So what did you think of Boise State before they contacted you?
Yeah, well, I wasn't the biggest fan of them, obviously, because we were always losing to them. But I mean, facilities like you're talking about is on a different level. Obviously, San Jose is not the biggest market, so coming here is just way different. Playing in front of 14,000 fans is going to be amazing. I've already experienced it, and it's just a different feeling. It's like an NBA arena over there. So it's been great. And then in terms of like how I thought about Boise State, I always thought they were a very disciplined team. They play very together, and that was always something that I admired, and that. Even though they had great players, you could tell that they were maximizing their potential,
Leon really praised you as a guy that can score but wants to pass first. Is that a skill that you feel like you've always had or something you had to hone over the last couple of years?
The playmaking or the scoring?
The passing.
Oh, yeah. Playmaking has been like my main, I would say my main strength throughout my life because, I played in Spain. My dad has been teaching me since I was young, and that's just something that I've done throughout my whole life, just being a playmaking guard, getting my teammates involved, and just, impacting winning. And then scoring also, I've worked really hard on it, and I think that, through playing one-on-ones with my brother and, just competing, I've been able to grow my game in that sense as well.
Your three-point percentage obviously had a nice, uptick last year. I mean, is there still more there too? I mean, do you think your outside shooting is something that can be a strength this year?
Most definitely. I felt like last year I shot around 39%, and most of the shots I took were really tough shots at the end of possession. And I feel like being surrounded by the guys that we have here, like Tyson, Omar, that, they create so much advantage on the court and people got to double team. I'll be able to get more open looks. And I feel like when I get open looks, I shoot it pretty well. I shot 50% on catch and shoots. So it's definitely something I feel like I take another step and continue to work on my shooting off the dribble that can, just continue to get better on that.
With plenty of new guys on the team this season, how beneficial has it been since arriving here to build chemistry and mesh with these guys and go to work a little bit?
Yeah, well, I got here a little bit late because I was with the national team. But I mean, and everybody went home during the break, but it's been great. Like, you can just tell, like, it really feels like a family. Like, everybody, likes each other, and it's really like a family environment with the coaches, the players, and it's been great.
What'd you learn about playing with Tyson and Omar? Playing now, you've been here a couple weeks. What do you know that you didn't know before?
Well, I haven't been able to practice with them much. Today was the first practice with them. But I mean, I've seen them play. I know what they can do. I feel like they would, they're going to be, benefited from playing with a player like me that can get them the ball in the short roll and the, throw them hoops, whatever it is. But Tyson has surprised me a lot in the sense of his skills as a guard. I know that's something that he's been working on. He's trying to, for his professional career, it's important that it's not just a four, but he can play some three. He can guard the three. He can do a little bit more than, posting up, which he's great at. But adding to, his bag a little bit and being able to become more of a perimeter player is going to be great for him.
As someone that's, been in this league and seen how good some of these teams have been the last couple of years, and I know you've had one practice, you said, but you look around and look at this roster. I mean, is this roster good enough to win the league and do some big things?
Yes, sir. I mean, we got to take it a step at a time, but most definitely, I feel like we have very talented players. Not just people that transfer, but also the younger guys are going to be pushing through. People like Andrew Meadow or Chris Lockett, who you guys just talked to. Those guys put in a lot of work. They can shoot the ball, and I feel like they can impact winning in a a lot of different things.
What are your early impressions of Chris?
Chris it feels like he just has a knack for scoring. I haven't seen that much of him. I don't know how his playmaking abilities are, but you can just tell he's twitchy. He can get to the rim. He's stronger than I expected. He doesn't look that strong, but he's really good at bumping and creating space, and just really a really good combo guard.
You mentioned your dad. Is he a coach or a former player?
Yeah, my dad didn't play, but he coached in the ACB in Spain, in the first league, but after that he decided to retire and kind of focus on the upbringing of his kids, and just, because as a professional coach it's hard to be with your kids and also, combine all that stuff. For him, family was more important, so he stopped coaching and kind of just made a lot of sacrifices to be with us and
So I'm sure you've worked with him your whole life, basically. I mean, what's the one thing that you've learned the most from your dad?
Yeah, my dad's huge into just being creative and kind of allowing me to make mistakes so I can become a better player. And I feel like that's sometimes an issue that coaches have, that they want their players not to make mistakes. But the only way to learn is if you're making mistakes, So my dad has always encouraged me to, stay consistent, even though I was a really, really small guard, that was going to benefit me in the future, because I had to, find all these skills to be able to go by people, or, find a way to be successful without being the most athletically gifted. So he's like the biggest support.
What's your
him and
dad's
my
name?
mom, David Cardenas.
And what about you mentioned your brother as well. Did he also play in college?
No, he didn't play in college. He stopped playing after high school.
Okay.
But man, we had some battles in our backyard. We used to play ones all the time, and he used to beat me every single time. So I feel like that's where I got my competitive nature from.
Are you guys built similarly, you and your brother?
Yeah, he's a little bit shorter now.
Okay.
I passed him, which he wasn't happy about, but yeah.
I've heard some crazy stories about guys in the portal. They'll commit, and then until they actually show up or sign, other schools still try to get them and stuff. I heard that may have happened with you. What was that part like, I guess, where you thought it was done and then it wasn't, and then yet you obviously stayed loyal? I mean, it must have been something special about this place.
Yeah, like you said, the portal is crazy. I didn't expect it to be that way, even though you hear it. But yeah, after obviously a lot of schools reached out once I entered the portal, but once I committed, there was a couple high major schools that reached out as well and offering NIL, crazy amounts of money and stuff like that. But I'm loyal. I'm not only looking in the short run. I feel like this is a place where we can win, and I can also continue to develop as a player, and I'm looking at it that way. I also built an incredible relationship with the coaches, and I felt like it was just the perfect place for me, and money isn't everything all the time.
What do you think it's going to be like playing on a team that is going to contend?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be amazing. I haven't felt that way yet. Well, we did our second year. We had an amazing year, and we were unlucky this year with some injuries, San Jose State. But I mean, it's gonna be great being able to play in front of all those fans, and just winning feels good.
So you just got done playing with the U20 team from Spain, right? What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, the under-22. I'd never been in the national team, and I finally got a call-up, which I feel like it's long overdue, and it was great. I mean, it was an amazing experience, being able to represent your country, even though it wasn't an official competition. It was super good experience, and I hope I can get a call-up for the the senior national team at one point in my life.
So you had to build chemistry with those guys pretty quick. How's that experience going to help you here?
Yeah, it was. Like I said, all these experiences, like changing from team to team, living in different countries, stuff like that, has helped me grow a lot as a person and being able to build relationships. I was the only one in the national team that had never been there. They all knew each other. But I felt like I got integrated pretty quick, and the guys were great, so it was an amazing experience.
I mentioned kind of weird seeing you in that shirt. For you too, I mean, first time you walked into the locker room or first time you saw your jersey or anything, what was that feeling like? And what do you think of the fan? I mean, I know San Jose wasn't a huge rival with Boise State, but I mean, just the fans that I guess hated you now love you. What's it like? Well,
they still haven't seen much, but yeah, I'm super excited to put this shirt on and be able to embrace the Bronco culture, and I'm really loving it so far. So hopefully they'll like me too.
I know you said no excuses, but you said you weren't 100% when last time you played in Boise. A little eager to get out there, I guess, and show the home fans here.
Yeah, I know some people had a lot to say about that I didn't play good, and it's fine. I understand. I didn't have a good game. People don't know what you're going through behind the scenes, and you just got to show up every day. Probably a game that I shouldn't have played, but I wasn't going to let my team down, and it's fine. They'll see this year.
What about you? Graduate San Jose, or are you here still as an undergraduate?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you away from basketball.
Yeah, so I was majoring in kinesiology back in San Jose. I had to change because some of my credits didn't transfer, so now I'm doing interdisciplinary studies. I got one more year, and my goal is to graduate this spring and get it done, so I didn't have to do summer school next summer and stuff like that.